Good morning, distinguished speakers and my dear friends. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to our 176th weekly webinar. Your presence here reiterates the fact that you're keen on spending time meaningfully even on the weekend. We truly appreciate that. As you are all aware, AABN has been engaging you with lively sessions with the objective of helping you hit the refresh button on emerging trends on a range of topics. This Sunday too, you'll be delighted to know that we have two eminent speakers. This networking arm has touched our lives in more ways than one. With over 60% of our alumni being entrepreneurs, it was an organic decision to float AABN as a dynamic entrepreneurial ecosystem that caters for domestic and global markets. It's not just a talent pool, it's also a space for established entrepreneurs to network and for the aspiring ones to galvanize ideas and support. Today, too, we have two eminent guest speakers, Mr. S. Sivakumar and Ms. Savitri, to deliberate on the topic effective parenting, challenges in the rapidly changing world, and interactive networking session. In today's rapidly evolving world, parenting has become a dynamic and ever-changing endeavor. The rise of technology, shifting societal norms, and the unique challenges of the digital age have transformed the landscape of raising children. As parents, we find ourselves navigating uncharted territory, grappling with new questions and concerns while striving to nurture and guide our children towards a fulfilling future. Sivakumar and Savitri will lead the session with warmth and wisdom. They will provide an insightful and realistic exploration of modern parenting, debunking high-performance parenting myths, and navigating its challenges by promoting growth and understanding. Friends, put your hands together for a guest and let me have the privilege of introducing them to you. As the CEO of Trichy Plus, Sivakumar wears many hats, including those of an entrepreneur, life coach, author, trainer, and speaker. His journey began with a mechanical engineering degree from CIT Coimbatore, followed by an MBA from FMS Delhi. He had carved out an illustrious corporate career in Nagpur and Mumbai. However, his path took a transformative turn, leading him to engage closely with young minds in Trichy. Alongside Sivakumar is his wife Savitri, CFO, who shares her passion for driving societal change by empowering families. Savitri has a psychology degree from Delhi University and an MBA. She has effectively guided numerous young minds towards success. Since the inception of Trichy Plus in 1998, both of them have been the driving force behind the mission, accumulating over 26 years of expertise in coaching and education consultancy. Through impactful talks, training programs, and communication workshops, they have served as guiding lights for lakhs of students and individuals. Their dedication is evident in the numerous free career guidance programs they offer for schools and college students. Their mission at Trichy Plus is to make high-quality education accessible to everyone, regardless of the location. Twice recognized with the Best Coaching Center award by the Tamil Nadu Welfare Council, Trichy Plus was inaugurated on April 18, 1998 by Dr. Jayashankaran, the former director of BIM. Since then, they have been at the forefront of providing coaching for various competitive exams. Their brainchild includes several unique products and services such as TikTok Dictionary, Neutral Accent Training,
அந்த அருள் ஸ்டோர்ஸ் ஆர்டர் பண்ணிட்டு என்னென்ன வேணுமோ நான் பண்ண
EDS,
முடியும்.
Campus Recruitment Guide, Tanset
பார்த்து
Guide,
தேவையான
Life
இது
Program,
டாய்லெட்ரிஸ் இது
among others, significantly enhancing the learning process for students. Trending on social media with more than 1 million views on their Instagram accounts, Trichy Plus is committed to empowering students with the necessary skills and talents to succeed in their careers through a variety of programs. Recently, Sivakumar has relaunched his father's work, the Campus Recruitment Guidebook, with a vision to address the gate abroad and placement needs of students and institutions in the collaborative effort. Savitri and Sivakumar have authored the highly acclaimed book titled S&S Family First. This literary venture achieved the remarkable feat of becoming a #1 bestseller on Amazon India in 6 categories. Sivakumar and Savitri are professional speakers and have spoken on various national and international platforms like Rotary, WICCI, YI, CII, Toastmasters, and PSAI, among others. Savitri has been featured in many popular magazines. As a Rotarian, Savitri has received several awards for her community service projects. One of them was to construct 14 toilets for a government school. The project beneficiaries were 700 girl students. Savitri is a trained musician who loves to draw, travel, run, do yoga, strength training, and Vipassana meditation. If I were to read out all their accomplishments, I'll be biting a big chunk of the webinar time. So I'll stop here and let you enjoy the session with these experts. Thank you, and over to you, Sivakumar and Savitri.
Thank you, Mr. Gunashekaran, for entertaining us with the wonderful music. Thank you, Gopi. And Gopi has been a wonderful host. And you scared me by saying we have to remove the debugs of the parents. We hope to do our best. You have to get into the slides. One second. And it won't be appropriate for me to start talking. I think the most beautiful lady in the planet should talk first, because the real norm is ladies first. So here is the lady who has been controlling my life for the last 30 years. She tells me to stand up, I stand up. She tells me to sit down, I sit down. She tells me to roll, I roll. Men, please take it seriously, because I know that's the same thing happening in your lives. Now I'll hand over to Savitri and we will alternate, we'll take turns. And thank you, Gopi, for again the painstaking introduction. And thank you, the whole Annamalai team, because on a Sunday morning you could have done wonderful things, but you decided, hopefully, to put up with us for the next 1.5 hours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I can just switch on the charger. A very good morning to all of you gathered here, and once again on behalf of Trichy Plus and Family First, Shiv and I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to AABN, the Annamalai Alumni Business Network. It's such a lovely name you have. And of course, Mr. Gopi, who has organized this entire session. And it gives us immense pleasure to come here and talk in front of you about our work. This is what we want to do. This is our passion, that is to reach out to the families and talk about what we have written in our book Family First and what we have experienced in our life. So whatever we are sharing with you today is from our personal experience. So let me start the session with a brief introduction about us, because in the invitation, you have mentioned Trichy Plus. Trichy Plus is our profession. That is what we do for our bread and butter. That is what we do as a trainer. And we have a coaching institute in Trichy, Tamil Nadu. We started in the year 1998. And this is something very interesting which I like to share with everyone. The logo of Trichy Plus is inspired from the world famous book by Richard Bach. It's called Jonathan Livingstone Seagull. And it is the story of that seagull. And the Trichy Plus logo is inspired from the protagonist of that book. We get inspiration from that actor, the protagonist. So we came to Trichy in 1998. Before that, Shiv was working in Bombay. He has 10 years of corporate experience, where he was a regional manager in a multinational. And earlier he was also after completion of his engineering, he was with Hindustan Motors. And then during our stay in Bombay, Shiv met with a major accident, which pushed us to come to our hometown, Trichy. And we came to Trichy in 1998. Sometimes they say, accidents happen for good things. So bad things happen, but it in the long run, when you go back and connect the dots, it is for the good. So that is how things have happened for us. So for nearly about 1.5 years, he was unable to walk. And then we decided to come down to Trichy. That is where we just started teaching students, maybe 1 student, 2 students at a time. They came to us for tuition and spoken English, I think. And that time we decided, why not get into this full-fledged, into the education field. And that is how we started Trichy Plus in the year 1998. And today, this year, we complete 26 years in the field of training, coaching, and consultancy. And we are in touch with all the schools, colleges, the various institutions in and around Trichy. So what started from one student, today at any point of time, we have nearly 1,000+ students studying with us in our institute. So we are very proud of our achievement. As I said, this is our profession and this is what we do. And Mr. Gopi already mentioned that we received the Best Coaching Center Award twice from the Tamil Nadu Welfare Council, and we are very proud of this achievement of ours. We offer various programs for students, so we are not getting into that part today. If you're interested, you can visit our website. Maybe I'll share it in the chat box also, www.trichyplus.com. And we are very active on social media. You can get in touch with us on Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn. We are there, and you can get all the updates of what we do. And you can even refer to students who are looking for these programs wherever you are, because we also offer online classes thanks to COVID. So we have done thousands of speaking assignments through Trichy Plus for schools, colleges, institutions, and also for families through our Family First program. And like Mr. Gopi mentioned, we have done thousands of career guidance also for the institutions, and most of them have been free programs. So our alumni consists of many successful students. I am just showing you some photographs. You may know these familiar faces because you have seen them on big screen. So they have been associated with Trichy Plus, and many of our students are there all over India and internationally, and we are very proud of their achievements. Yes, this was the magazine media that Mr. Gopi was talking about. We got a wonderful coverage, and we have got in many other media platforms also. And in the meantime, as we were doing Trichy Plus, there is a story that happened in our life where our daughter wrote a book after her 10th standard. We will be talking about that. And then we were asked why we didn't write a book in our life. So that time we thought of this idea, Family First, and we wrote this book, which became an Amazon bestseller on Amazon India. And through that, we started a trust called Family First Trust. So whatever money we generate through the book sales, through our talks for families, we utilize it in our trust to help underprivileged children for their education and for various other projects. So we have been doing this now for more than 2 years. The book came out during the COVID period. So because of that, we have been interacting with families, and we have been talking to hundreds of families thanks to Rotary. And our corporate sponsors are Idayam Oil and Arun Ice Cream. So through them, we go around Tamil Nadu talking to families on parenting, health, and relationship. And that is what we are going to talk to you about today. So now I hand over the session to Sivakumar. Yes, I forgot to tell you one more thing. Here, this person, this gentleman in this picture, Yogandran, if you see, he is a movie director, and there is one more person on your corner, on this bottom corner, Dr. Sai Arvind. They are both film directors, and they have directed the Tamil movies in which Sivakumar has also acted. So Sivakumar is not only a trainer, author, and coach, he is also an actor, and he has acted in 2 Tamil movies. One movie is called Medagu 2, and the other movie is called Epiko Munutiar. Okay, so maybe I'll write down the movie names in the chat box. You can check it out later. So this is what we talk about in our Family First program. Now I hand over the session to Sivakumar. I'll join you in some time.
Yeah, good morning, Annamalai friends. Now, Savitri, didn't she speak very well? Wasn't she phenomenal? If she was phenomenal, please give her a thumbs up, applaud her. Please do it. If she was wonderful, you can just go to the chat box. You can make a comment. You can give a clap. Put some emoticon. Kindly do it, please. Please do it. I got a hidden objective over here, a hidden agenda. please.
I think they've
So
done
no,
it.
no, no
Don't
one.
force them.
அந்த
Yeah.
புக்கெல்லாம் எடுத்து
No,
அனுப்பிச்சுப்பா
I
எனக்கு.
have to
அப்ப
force
எப்பதான்
you.
இருக்கிறது? இப்போ ஃப்ரீயா இருக்கும்போது அனுக்கலன்னா
Ah,
வந்துட்டாங்க அவங்க.
ஒரே நிமிஷம் சார். சார் எல்லாருமே கொஞ்சம் மியூட் பண்ணிக்கங்க because we like to listen to our voice. எங்க இருக்கு? Okay. Yeah, thank you. The reason I said is if you don't appreciate her, I possibly may not get my lunch. So thank you very much for the positive response. And by the way, Savitri showed you 2 movies in which I acted. Please don't go into OTT and try to go through those movies to see what I have done in my role. Both the movies are mega flops, right? So, but now my students have been asking me because I've been idling for a long time, sir, why don't you come and act in the 3rd movie? But I made it very clear, categorically, I've told them unless Nayanthara is acting opposite to me, I'm not coming to the movies. And I have not got the call sheet since then. Now coming to Savitri, one thing she forgot to mention, she is a psychologist from Delhi University. And she has been practicing psychology for 30 years. And on one patient, and that patient is right now talking to you. So that's the introduction. Okay, now we will be talking a little bit on some parenting theories, on relation theories, short theories. Now, this is not a trip down ego lane, but I know each and every one of you has a story to tell. Each and every one has traversed a different path. So we are just communicating our story, and finally we will end up with a wonderful case study of our daughter, and possibly many of you can pick up a few points from there, and we could also, if you have time, interact over the chat box where you can share the phenomenal things that you have done. Okay, anywhere you want to stop me, you can type something in the chat box. We'll try to interact. Just last week we came from Kenya. We were there for the Masai Mara trip, and we went to the Masai village. So the people you see there, they are Masai warriors. Now each of them is pretty tall. Now Masai warriors, the way they attract a wife, a lady into their life. Can anybody type how a Masai gets a lady into his life? Anybody has an idea? Okay, because I think all of you, please take notes. This is something very important to attract lady. Oh, it's already too late for you. Yeah, to attract lady into the life, what they do is they jump. The higher you jump, the more attractive you are. And there are many Masais, so they do that. For breakfast, they have cow meat. Lunch, they have cow meat. Dinner, they have cow meat and cow's blood and cow's milk. Chicken and eggs and fish are meant for ladies. They are ladies' meat, not the man's meat. But something has happened. Masai, the men population is very less. For every one man, there are 5-6 women. So almost every man gets married 7 times. Now, the reason I'm telling you that it's a big advantage. Out of 8 marriages, at least 1 or 2 will work. But unfortunately, in my case, I have only 1 wife. So I have to make it work. I cannot play the game of probabilities. I have to make it work. So what are the few things that we do to work on our relationship? I'll share 3 points. And then 3 things we do in parenting. I will share that. And Gopi is very particular, effective strategies in this changing world. So we'll give some fun day of the changing world. And then I'll share my daughter's story. I hope it is okay. I hope people are listening. Yeah. Right. Okay. A nice quote we picked up from somewhere, Van Gogh. There are 2 gifts we should give our children. One is roots and the other is wings. Nice quote. Okay. And I just put this picture of Calgary Towers over here to show this building is, I think, about 400 meters tall, but the foundation is almost a kilometer down. That means the deeper the foundation, the taller the building. Right? Now, here are the principles we follow. 3 principles Savitri and I follow. So we'll just share the principles we follow, because unless we have roots, a strong foundation, A strong foundation is needed to create the right atmosphere in the family. You have the right atmosphere, you have the right action, you have the right attitude, you get the right results. So what do we do to create the right atmosphere?
Sanjay.
All right. Now, yes, you want to get into this?
Okay, do you want to share with
Okay.
Sanjay too?
Yes. Before I get into this, let me tell you one thing. Being in CIT FMS, don't look at a very erudite person. I've been a highly reactive person. Any small thing, any small disturbance here or there, an income tax notice, a GST notice, whatever, I start reacting. Right? To explain that, let me share an anecdote. I'll put it across in Tamil itself. ஸோ ஆஃபீஸில் வந்து ஒரு மேனேஜர் உட்காந்துருக்காரு, ஒருத்தர் ஓடி வர்றாரு, சஞ்சய் சஞ்சய், ஐயோ உங்க டாட்டர் வந்து ஜஸ்ட் கமிட்டட் சூசைட். அப்போ வந்து சஞ்சய்க்கு வந்து அப்படியே அவருக்கு ஷாக் ஆயிடுறது. ஐயோ என் டாட்டர் இல்லைன்னா எனக்கு வாழ்க்கையே கிடையாதே அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவர் விண்டோவை திறக்கிறாரு. இஸ் இன் த 15th floor ஆஃப் த பில்டிங். அங்கேருந்து ஜம்ப் பண்றாரு. என் டாட்டர் இல்லைன்னா எனக்கு லைஃபே இல்லை. அப்போ ஜம்ப் பண்ணிட்டு அவர் பாடி ஃப்ளோட் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. ஒரு 12th floor போகும்போது அப்பதான் யோசிக்கிறது, எனக்கு டாக்டரே கிடையாது. அப்படியே பாடி கீழே போயிட்டு இருக்கு. 8th floor போகும்போது எனக்கு கல்யாணமே ஆலியே. அப்புறம் 2nd floorல போய் இப்பதான் கிராஷ் ஆகுறது. பாடி வந்து இட்ஸ் கோயிங் டு ஹேவ் அன் இம்பாக்ட் டு த கிரவுண்ட். என் பேர் சஞ்சயே இல்லையே. ஸோ த்ரூ அண்ட் த்ரூ யூ ரியாக்ட். We react to situations. We are masters in reaction. So Savitri and I, over these years, ஆரம்பத்தில் என்ன பண்ணுவோம்னா, I would come from office late. I was working in VIP Industries. I would come at 10 o'clock. 15 days marketing, 15 days in Nagpur. I was in Nagpur. So morning, night, I would come at 10 o'clock. And this lady would be waiting. She would have candle light and all that. She would be waiting for the Prince Charming to come in a horse and give her a bouquet, because these ladies read Mills and Boons and think that life is going to be very romantic. But this idiot comes at 10:30 in the night. He rings the bell. Ting, 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 ting. Darling. She doesn't open the door. Then again I ring. Ting, 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 ting. Darling. Doesn't open the door. Then bang, bang, bang. I start banging the door. Neighbors come out, because those days TV was not very popular. There was some horrible channel called Giant TV where they showed the same movie all the 365 days. Neighbors would come out as though because there was nothing entertaining in their life. And then after half an hour, she would open the door. We would pick up a big fight. That day only she would have made some idli and chutney. I would just take my hands and push that out of the table. I would see that my favorite chutney and sambar there spattered on the floor. We had a wonderful start to our life. Okay, though I did my MBA and most of the time I was into extracurricular activities, romancing her. But when we got down in the reality, okay, life was tough. So we needed to do a lot of unlearning, because we carried a lot of parental baggage. I had been trained by my parents to react to every situation. But here we had to unlearn ourselves. And I think my better half will share with you how she did it.
So a simple thing that we learned was I think most of you would have heard about the stimulus and response, made very popular by Stephen Covey of 7 Habits. So what he stated was that there is a stimulus and then there is a response, and always there is a gap. So there is a gap between the stimulus and the response. So all the time the stimulus is happening in our life. Something or the other keeps happening. Morning we get up, something happens, somebody makes a call or somebody makes a comment, we see the WhatsApp, we watch the social media news, something we watch here, or things keep happening. So do we react immediately or do we take time? There's a very popular saying, think before you speak or think before you act. So there is a gap between the stimulus and the response. So this gap has to be strengthened. The more you strengthen this gap, the happier you are. We learned this by venturing into Vipassana. I think many of you would have heard of this Vipassana meditation, and we would definitely recommend that you go and experience this amazing practice. It's a 10-day program which is organized by dhamma.org. And there, what happens is we meditate for 10 days. They teach us the Vipassana meditation technique, and everything slows down for us. So when things slows down, it takes time for you to react. So we don't immediately react to whatever happens in our life. So we have to start practicing. There is one more picture which I would like to show you. This is a favorite picture of mine. It is called quantum entrainment. That is, நீங்க அந்த இது பாக்குறீங்க இல்லையா, you see those circles. So you see those circles, one circle is interfering with the other. This is what happens. So when we get a phone call, for example, somebody calls us, or someone comes and tells me, hey, உன்னை பத்தி யாரோ அந்த சொன்னாங்க, உன்னை பத்தி இப்படி பேசினாங்க. So immediately what happens is, அவங்களோட அந்த வைப்ரேஷன், அவங்களோட அந்த எனர்ஜி வந்து என்னோட எனர்ஜியோட என்ட்ரெயின் ஆகுது. It comes and mixes. So when it mixes, interferes, அங்கதான் disturbance வருது. So the techniques like Vipassana or
Mother-in-law complains about the way you cook.
Okay, mother-in-law complains about the way I cook, or anything happens, and immediately we get agitated, or we get disturbed. Why this disturbance or agitation happens is when that vibration field enters into my vibration field. So when I practice a Vipassana or a meditation, when I practice the gap between the stimulus and response, I do not allow that vibration to enter inside me. I can keep myself away from that. So I can watch myself. So அதுக்காக தான் இந்த practice வந்து ரொம்ப important. I can keep watching. That is what Guruji's call alertness or awareness. So I can see what is happening. I know what is coming, and I am prepared for that. I don't let it enter me. So if a mother-in-law complain பண்றாங்கன்னா, I don't let it enter me. Or my staff complains, or my staff is not doing something, or my daughter is not listening to me, or something happens, I do not let it enter inside, but I am able to watch it. So when I'm able to watch it, I'm able to take a better decision, and my reaction to that situation improves. So this Vipassana is a very beautiful technique that helps us, that has helped us. எங்களுக்கு இது ரொம்ப ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருந்தது. That is why we recommend it to as many people as we meet and we keep seeing, we tell them go for this program. And உங்களுக்கு அப்படி டைம் இல்லைனாலும், just doing a simple meditation at home will help you. Just watching your breath, that helps you to tackle with the situation that happens around you, not letting this quantum entrainment affect you in any way. This is one technique. Yes. This is the next technique.
She'll guide me and I'll follow suit. So I could have demonstrated this. See, most of the time we tell the children, action, padi, padicha, mark varum. So constantly we are into action, result, action, result. Action creates result. The harder you work, the better the result. Action, result. But what comes before action? For example, my mother-in-law comes at the door. Okay, I have an action, I have a result. But as soon as I see my mother-in-law, what happens to me? Akkar. Akkar is Tamil சொல்லணும்னா என்ன தோன்றது, right? One of the things we go, I'm married to her for 30 years. What occurs to me when I see her? The same face I've been seeing for 30 years. So my occurrence, my thonradhu will create an action, and that action will create a result. So if I want my action to be romantic and have a beautiful relationship, I have to work on my occurrence. So this is what we practice. Now, before that, let me give you one of the things I learned which I have shared with all my friends, my classmates, and they have also found it very useful. So many of my CIT friends will also tell you this. It is working very well in their lives. See, our whole batch CIT, we have come to a conclusion that we don't have the intellectual prowess of the women. Say, for example, our reticular activity, we just work on business, on finance, and same just one single track mind. But you take women, okay, they can see the whole spectrum of things. She knows what's happening in my Sitapa's house. She knows what's happening in the neighborhood. She knows what are the small nitty-gritties happening with the cook, the maid, the driver, and blah blah, and what's happening in each staff's house. They know everything about everything. But I'm a moron. My IQ is lesser. So I don't understand many of the things, the politics and all that which is happening around. Now, what is the action plan? How do I save myself? Now, you may be asking, how do you manage yourself for 30 years with this? Ask them to. For 30 years with this. Okay. Can anybody tell me how I do it? You want to put it in the chat box? I think most of you have just kept it open and gone. Some messages are there. One second. Let me see. Yes.
Shiva
Oh,
sir,
yes,
I
correct.
think you're being silent. Shiva sir, I think it's being silent and observing more than
Wow.
reacting.
Wow, you are my Guruji. You're wonderful. Okay. Right. நான் தமிழையும் மிக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறேன்.
நான் தமிழ் இல்ல. நான் only Bengali from Calcutta.
আমি বাংলা বলতে পারি, আমি দুর্গাপুরে জন্মেছি, বাংলা বলতে পারি, কিন্তু আমি তামিলেও বলবো because local lingo people get more connected. That's wonderful.
But more in English, less in Tamil. So
Yes,
that we all understand.
I'll do that. Okay.
So it is a gap between the stimulus and the response. That's what we are doing. You know, you're given the stimulus.
No stimulus response, but now I'm going to the next chapter.
Now you're given the stimulus.
Yeah. Okay. She will give the stimulus. I have to have the gap. I have to work on that. Now, one thing we do meticulously is on Saturdays. Every Saturday, we go for dinner somewhere outside. The purpose is not to eat. The purpose is to listen. So I sit for the dinner. I don't take my daughter. I don't take, sometimes you see people whole bag and baggage, 40 people, whole family going together, ladies on one side, men on another side. There'll be no communication at all. Here, just the two of us. Even the kid is not allowed to come with us. Now, we sit there at the dinner table at say 7:30, and Savitri will start unwinding. You know this? You know what happened there? You know what happened this? You just have no idea about what's happening in life. You are dumb. I don't know why I got married to you, right? Okay. And blah, 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 blah. There is only one thing I learned. Those 2-3 hours, I zip my mouth. And this is the secret that many of my CIT friends are also practicing. We all do this. And the practice is yes. The waiter there will notice this. What is this fellow doing? He's neither eating, he's just looking at and saying yes. Now 2 hours, 3 hours, he keeps saying yes. How much can a woman dump on you? So after 3 hours, what happens? She gets tired because she has unloaded everything. Now there will be brightness in her eyes. She'll look at me and say, you're a wonderful human being. I really love you for that. Now I got my marriage back. I know my marriage is now insured for the next 1 week. What do I do the next Saturday? And this is a quiz for you. What do I do the next Saturday? What do I do, man? Next Saturday.
Go to the hotel, say yes for 3 hours.
Yes, you are a fast learner. Yes. Super. Well done. Yes. So all of you men, please take notes. Most important thing, yes. Practice this. Your marriage is insured, right? So what occurs to you is, whatever happens, I will listen to her. Your action is nodding your head. The result is you have a safe marriage. Please teach this to your children also, right? Now, this is one practice. And here, let me get into a little bit of serious stuff. 3 laws of performance. Read this book. This is a phenomenal book, whether we are running the family or we are running an organization. I'll very quickly go through it, but this can be an entire training program. Point number 1, you can take a screenshot of this. How people perform correlates to how they perceive the situation. That means every staff of mine, family member of mine will act according to how they see the situation. Right? My father used to come from office, we used to tremble because that is how we saw the situation. Point number 2, how a situation unfolds rises in the language which is used. That means you want to have a great future. Tell your company, fantastic, let's be dreamers. Oh my God, our productivity is going to be 2x. We are going to be phenomenal. Similarly, tell the children, wow, you are a blessing in my life. You're a genius. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
How a situation unfolds rises in language. That means language becomes absolutely important. If possible, read the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. In that, there is a study within 5 minutes, based on the language the couples use, whether they criticize or they condemn or they complain or they stonewall, just within 5 minutes, they're able to tell whether this marriage will last or not. And children need the foundation. They need to have a family which is dependable on. There is a saying, the best gift a father can give the child, the best gift a father can give the child is anybody? Chat box. The best gift a father can give the child is
Peaceful coexistence at home.
okay. Good shot. I got a slightly better line. The best gift a father can give the child is love the mother.
Love the mother, yes.
Love the mother. So situation unfolds in language. Now I have been very particular that the language doesn't slip. For example, I remember places where my language slipped, and that still has an impact on our life. I remember I had gone for a Rotary meeting about 15 to 17 years back. My daughter was a kid, about 5-year-old. I kept her in the front chair and I started talking about, I don't know, family relationship and all that. I started talking. This 5-year-old couldn't make much out of it. But she knew this fellow is putting a yarn, he is putting a spin. And then she said, the crowd is there, about 150 Rotarians there, and she screams out, "Nethu nee amma adichalla." Right? Actually, I didn't beat her, and I'm not that kind of a person. Somewhere we had an argument, and I threw a newspaper. Now, how the situation unfolds rises in the language which gets used. What is the language I use? And the third point, look at your organization. What is the language they're using? Look at the family. What is the language they're using? Future-based language transforms how situations occur to people. If I'm going to have powerful language for the future I'm going to define is going to be powerful. And I found this book phenomenal. Works for organizations, works for families. Right? Then, now, this is the second principle we followed. And the third principle.
This we learned from the world famous investor Warren Buffett, where he narrates one incident. Once it so happened that one young man who was working in Warren Buffett's company, he came to him, he was very disturbed. So Warren Buffett asked him what happened. He said, I have so many things to do, so much work, my head is spinning, I'm getting overwhelmed. And Warren Buffett said, calm down, just do one thing, sit down and take a paper and pen, write down the list of things that are there on your mind and you need to finish them. So the young man started writing and he kept writing. He wrote about 25 things that he had to do. Now, Warren Buffett said, do one thing. Now, pick up the top most important work which you need to finish first. So put a tick on that. So the priority, number one. Okay. Now pick the second one, third, fourth, fifth. Now take that paper. You have these 5 points in front of you. The rest 20 points, just tear and throw the paper away. Now, what Warren Buffett was trying to tell that young man is just focus on these top 5 jobs, top 5 priorities of your life right now. Once the top 5 priorities are in line, the rest of the things will happen by itself. So that is what he meant by the 5 by 25 rule. And this is what we also started following, because at one point we were also getting overwhelmed with so many things. And then we decided, no, we have to get our top 5 priorities. So in that, the first thing which was the first on our mind was our health. So what happened was about 7 or 8 years back, when Shiv went for a blood test, he found that he had diabetes and it was at a very high. His HbA1c, I'm sure all of you know what is HbA1c. It was around 12.1. So which is a very high number. So at that point, and my cholesterol levels were also very high. So if you see here, we are there in one white t-shirt and we are getting ready to go for a 5 kilometer, it was not a marathon, a walkathon, 5 kilometer race in Trichy. And you can see how healthy we were at that point. This was about 7 to 8 years ago. And at that time, when we saw the health report, we made a decision that we have to give health the priority. And we made a lifestyle change. And within the next few months, we saw a drastic improvement in our health. And from then on, we started taking baby steps. And at one point, we started running marathons, half marathons. And today we can run anywhere near about 25 to 30 kilometers easily. We are also health aficionados. We do trekking. We go. Recently, we went for the Everest Base Camp trek. So we started working on our health. We took a decision. So like Warren Buffett said, the 5 most important thing in our life, for us, the first priority, health. We put a tick. The second, it was very easy for us. We selected what is the top 5 and we started working. So rest, everything had to take a back seat. So we started focusing on these 5 priorities, and that is what we tell people: focus on the 5 most important things in your life right now. If a 6th something comes up, we see if I can take something out of this 5 and fit the 6, I can take it up. Otherwise, I cannot take it up, because things keep happening and we have to make a decision what is important for us. Because we see people, they are all the time busy with the family functions and things that are happening around them. We don't go, personally, both of us, we don't go to family functions and marriages if we don't have time. If it fits in, if we are able to complete all the 5 things in our life, our 5 things are health, business, family, finance. We have these 5 priorities and our daughter. So these 5 things, if we complete all these 5 things and we have time, then we go for the function and whatever other extra curricular things. Otherwise, we don't take up anything extra, and we tend to focus on these 5 things in our life. So this is what 5 by 25. I just know, but you can mention again.
Okay. Yeah. Now, incidentally, just for information, Savitri 2018 Chennai Marathon, various age groups are there. I don't want to mention an age group because Savitri claims that she is 18, though she is married for me for the last 30 years. Chennai Marathon, she was the winner. So she got a good prize money. She has won about 6-7 marathons. So please give her a big round of applause. யாரும் கை தட்டல உனக்கு. Okay, just brilliant. Okay, okay, yeah. Now, I'm happy in a way. I'm relieved because I know I will not have any financial challenge, because in case I have a financial challenge in the future, Savitri will run and win the marathon. So I'm financially secure, right? Okay. And this is a Rotary couples dancing competition. Okay, which we won. I don't know how we did, because I don't know which one is the left leg and which is the right leg. I was so bad in dancing, I guess. Now the 5 things, okay. You take, one is health. Health is the absolute priority. You come to my house, you are not going to get mixture. You're not going to get tatta,
biscuit.
no murukku, no biscuit, no Maggie packet,
Juice.
no sauce,
Coke.
nothing. So that is one of the rules she has got. So only thing you will get is macadamia, almond, green tea, pistachios. This is what you'll get. That's why no guests come to our house.
Oral.
Okay. Finance, absolutely everything in our control. Even if I take 50 rupees, she'll ask me for account. 7 years back on this date, if he has spent something on Gunduzi and rubber band, that's also written, recorded. So we have captured 100% compliance on expenditure in this family. That's what we do. And we pick up a lot of, the whole house is designed for habits. Say, for example, my medicines, my books, what is to be read, that will be there in our view, so that we follow this principle from atomic habits. You have a cue, you crave for it, you respond, you get the reward. So as soon as the cue is reading the book, I crave for the book, I read the book, I respond to the book, I get the reward. So that's done. So everything, right from testing blood sugar to apple cider vinegar to some basic supplements, all this BP mission, everything will be lemon water, all that will be there on the table itself. Even things like I will do running at 6 a.m. places, town station at 6 a.m. So you will find us frequenting town station, that is the fourth station nearby, which is about half a kilometer from here. Every morning, everyone, all the walkers will see us over there. So that's a habit that we have formed. Even our rooms will be primed, right? And this is, you would have heard about this story. It was there in Atomic Habits. Laszlo Polgar. All 3 sisters are world chess champions. And this man, when he married her, he took a bet that whichever child I get, I'll make them a chess champion. And to do that, the whole room, he pasted with chess posters, he bought chess books, made them members of chess club, and all these 3 daughters who he gave birth to after the bet, they all became chess champions. That means children are like a tabula rasa. You can mold them the way you want. Now, quickly, these are some principles we follow in the family. Quickly, I'll share with you some principles on parenting that we follow. We have only one kid. And we use this principle of expectancy on her. You'd heard about the story of George Bernard Shaw, the Pygmalion effect. Now, this sculptor, he sculpts a statue, falls in love with the statue. He falls in love with it so much that the statue comes to life. And that's called the Pygmalion effect. So you don't have to tell the children that you're wonderful, you're super and all that. You just expect them to be out of the world and they will come to that particular dimension. That is a particular thought process. We follow that. This is a principle. I'm quickly getting to my daughter's story. So I'm just going through this. This sequence quickly. Sorry, I'm not looking to the chat box. I'll come to that later. The next principle we follow is teamwork. This is all parenting principle. You want, you can take a note of it, because I was trained on this by Network 21. The first is edification. Anybody aware of this principle, edification? Edification. You can type in the chat box. Yeah. Okay. I appreciate Shivaraman. That's why I said each one has got a different thought process. I really appreciate. And there are many people who differ with us. Okay, they beg to differ with us. Each one has got a different point of view because each one has a different value system. So value system may vary from person to person. Really appreciate you for that.
Edification.
Yeah. Now, meaning of edification is, one second. Could you kindly mute yourself? Mr. Rajkumar? Yeah. Edification, it's a biblical word. You build somebody by praise and destroy them by criticism. Say, for example, my daughter, she comes to me and she says, Daddy, mummy vandu ipdi pesara, daddy. She says something like this. She wants to complain about, because she's a political animal. She wants to complain about mummy to daddy. Mummy in my shoulder. Now the game I play is, I say, oh, your mom is a super mom. She's a great mom, the greatest lady I ever met, blah, blah, blah. Now this one little one thinks, oh, what a big bore daddy is. Whenever I try to complain and play some game, this guy doesn't want, he always sides with his wife. She comes to Savitri and says, dad is saying this, dad is doing this. No, mom doesn't say, unga appawa 30 நாளா நான் 30 வருஷமா நான் கட்டி நான் பட்ட கஷ்டம் எனக்கு தான் தெரியும். She doesn't get into that. She says, oh, your dad is always correct. He's a brilliant guy. He's a super guy, blah, blah, blah. She starts talking. Now my daughter understands that she is not able to break us. Okay. Mother will always side with the father. Father will always side with the mother. They are a team. So if you can't beat them, follow them. And that's edification. That's a very powerful principle that works. And number 2 is no cross-lining. No cross-lining is my sister comes and I start chatting with my sister about how bad my wife is or how terrible my family is. Now I'm crossing the line. Okay. We have the rule, we don't cross the line. There will be nothing negative said about her to anyone, or she will not say anything negative about me to anyone. That's it. That's a hidden rule. And whenever we are in doubt, point number 3, counsel. Check. If we don't have the answers, check with somebody who is somebody wise. There is a Chinese proverb, whenever in doubt, consult a senior. And today I think the best senior is ChatGPT, right? Okay. So these are the 3 principles we follow in teamwork. And I would love to demonstrate. We don't have time. I'm not going to demonstrate. One of the principles we learned is no advice. No advice. We go for dinner with her and she's running a company in Chennai and she wants to keep talking. Our only job is listen. Don't start giving gyan about how great you are, what all you know, how many books you read and all that. Just listen. The only time we talk is when she wants our opinion. That's it. So these are the principles we follow. Now, each one has got a thought process, and I really appreciate that. I listen to their stories, we share our stories, and together we can build a beautiful world. Now, before I get to my daughter's story, a couple of slides here. And I picked it up from Future is Faster Than You Think. It's a book by Peter Diamandis. Now, these are the 5 things children are going to face in the future. One is catastrophic climatic changes. Dubai, it rains like never before. We were in Kenya. In Kenya, you have heavy rains. This migration process, which is there, possibly may not happen this year. So climate is going to be a huge role in your children's life. Number 2, possibly instead of going to the cities, people may shift to the rural side because of better connectivity. Point number 3, virtual. So people are getting into a meta world. I think most of the time you are with your device rather than seeing the real world. Point number 4 is cognition. Neuralink, something developed by Elon Musk. They talk about brain-computer interface, which all of you engineers will know. Let me not dabble into that. And the 5th migration is space. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos talk about having a colony in Mars. Plus, I have not taken in many factors like AI and all that. I think children are getting into a totally different world if you include crypto and all those factors. Quickly, this particular story, and then I get into my daughter's story. Please go through this, Google about this, watch it on YouTube. And this is where I see the future coming. This is Martin Rothblatt, fell in love with this lady, got married. And then afterwards, he felt that he was not a man and he wanted to become a woman as a sex change, which does happen nowadays. And now he is running a company for organ harvesting, where they are harvesting heart, lungs, liver, kidney. And he says in a car, you can replace the engine, you can replace the tire, you can replace the gearbox. Why not do it for human beings? So I think this is where the future is going. I find my heart full of blocks. I can go and change my heart, replace with a new heart and come back. Now, what I found most interesting is he loves his wife. He's scared that his wife may die someday. So he has got a clone of her as a robot. And this robot has got all the algorithms, all the programs. What happens when the wife is angry? What happens when the wife is depressed? All those are programmed into the robot. And he says this robot is a perfect replacement for his wife. I think, hey, what kind of future are we getting into? What kind of future is my daughter getting into? What kind of future are these kids getting into? Are these kids well prepared for the future? Right? This has always been a thought process, because I was a very good student in school, got good marks, had no idea about what life is, got into CIT, was a very good student among the toppers, had absolutely no idea about what life is. I found it difficult to engage with reality for quite some time. And I started thinking, what is this education process where children don't engage with reality at the age of 20, 21? Okay, for example, just day for yesterday, one IIT student was All India 500th rank in IIT from IIT Delhi. He was at my home for 2 days and absolutely has no idea about how to engage with the real world, though he has got a brilliant mind. Okay, so what needs to be done? Now here, the picture. Okay, now, okay, I start here. Now let me get into the real story. I'm just going to share a case study with you, and after that case study, we open it up to questions. Now here you're seeing a mark sheet of a person. We picked it up from the net, and this gentleman, you see, English 47, Maths 38, must be very poor in maths and English. Then BA exam 43 in second language, 45 in philosophy. And final exam, you look at it, second language 36, English 46, logic 17 out of 50. Okay. Whose marks are these? And would you qualify this person as a great student? Whose marks are these? ಯಾರು instructor? Perfect. Perfect. HBSB, kindly put your name. You have mentioned to instruct and improve, especially in moral and religious knowledge. Fantastic. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Whose marks are these?
It's a famous person.
Yeah, definitely
It's a
famous person.
Famous person.
Okay. Now, okay.
Just guess. Take one or two guesses.
Just
Like,
give it a
know
shot.
whether you
Yeah, just
are
give it a
there or
shot.
not.
Yeah. It's just a test to see whether you are engaged, you're alive, you're kicking. Whose is this? Some classmates of yours? 1 second. Hello, good morning. Happy Sunday. What happened to the Annamlai gang here? I think they've gone somewhere for party.
No, I'm just thinking whether I got this type of close to this type of marks or not.
Oh, good. See, fortunately, nobody is asking for a report card right now, no? But I'm scared with this internet and all that. Your kids find out your report marks. okay, then there will be no point because whatever you advise, they won't listen to you. Mark எவ்வளவுன்னு எனக்கும் தெரியும் அப்படின்றவாங்க. Right? Okay. Now this gentleman is, let me get the cat out of the bag. Swami Vivekananda.
I
Now, something must have happened that at the age of 2021, being a poor student, he died at the age of 32. There must have been some massive transformation which happened in this gentleman, right? Now, this got me thinking because I also believe in a concept called existentialism. I believe that don't push people into life. I know just last week one character came. This kid, when he was in 6th standard, he came and met me. Absolutely fun-loving kid. But his father had a dream. His father is a big businessman in Trichy, and his father dreamt when he was born that he should be an IAS officer. And right from the time IAS. Right now, this guy has been studying for 3 years in Delhi in some IAS academy. I come, I see sunken eyes, guy is tired, he is dull, right? Because he is trying to live up to his father's dream. And I believe that kids have to enjoy, they have to discover life on their own terms. Life is more of a discovery. And that is where I came across this model called Robert Dilts model. And what Robert Dilts says is create a beautiful environment. And if you create a beautiful environment, that environment, behavior is a function of the environment. If you have a lovely environment, the behavior will be lovely. If you have a bad environment, the behavior will be bad. And if you have the right behavior, you will enhance your skill and capability. Once you enhance your skill and capability, your beliefs increase, you have the right values. And once your beliefs increase, you are transformed into a different person. Your identity is transformed. The identity is the way you think about yourself. Identity is perhaps a very powerful word because how do you identify yourself? And once you identify yourself, then you get in touch with your spirituality and purpose. And on top, I put a word called archetype. Now, archetype is a very powerful word which was coined by Carl Gustav Jung. He was one of the founding psychologists along with Sigmund Freud and who was the other one? I just forget the name.
Skinner.
Yeah, not Skinner. Sigmund Freud and those three. Jung, Skinner, sorry, Freud and... Okay, I don't get the name. So he coined the term archetype. That means each one of you, he says, is unique. And you need to be connected with your uniqueness in life. But there'll be a lot of interference, there'll be a lot of infringement and all that takes place. So what's really special about you has to bloom, blossom and come out. Now, how do we work it out in the kid? Now, this is our kid, Sagarika. And you can see she's the author of a book, My Unschooled Year, and her coinage is, I choose not to run in the race, but to create my own space. So how did we help this child navigate through this world? Okay. Now, Sagarika, if you take, is a fun-loving kid. And we were never bothered about her academics. We wanted her to have fun, to be in sports. She loved to dance. She loved to sing. She would like to have sports and dance in the rain. Rain, she would like to be in the rain for the next 2-3 hours. She would dance in the rain. So life had to be fun. And my belief was she needs to have a complete childhood. My mom would keep on jumping. நீ என்ன அப்பா அவளை படிக்க சொல்ல மாட்டேங்கிற, எப்போ பார்த்தாலும் நீ வந்து அவளை ஃபன்னு என்ஜாய் பண்ண சொல்ற, ரைட்டுங்களா? அண்ட் யூ மே நோ சம் ஆஃப் தியரி. ஒன் இஸ் விஷுவல், ஆடிட்ரி, கினெஸ்தட்டிக். கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. விஷுவல்னா அந்த குழந்தை வந்து வீடியோஸ்லாம் பார்த்து புரிஞ்சுக்கும். ஆடிட்ரி இஸ் the child listens to what the teacher says and reproduces in the exam. My daughter, I had to teach her Newton law for 2 years. Mole concept, nothing would enter her head. Faraday's number, this, that, nothing, she would go to sleep. But if there was some problem with the Samsung TV, some problem with the motor, some problem with the scooter, the mechanic could not set it right, she would set it right. She had wonderful hands. She could understand the mechanisms, but she could not reproduce that in the examination. Now, this is a challenge because how do I push this child into IIT JEE? She will not fit there. She will not be able to write a neat examination, right? But you ask her to operate on somebody, she will do a fantastic job. So what's to be done with this kid, right? So after 10th, she got the last marks in school. CBSE, last marks in school, 8.2 was a grade. I think most of the parents would have murdered their child for getting the score. What we told our kid was, she said, Daddy, should I do engineering or medicine or psychology or commerce like all kids? We said, you decide. She said, nah, small kid, how do I decide? He said, it's your life, you decide. And daddy is not in a hurry that you should quickly go and get your degrees. Do one thing, mommy and daddy, you take a year's break. You take a year's break and but you have to follow a structure. You have that structure there? You have to follow a structure. She agreed. She put a contract, follow the structure. Means morning you go to the gym. After you come from the gym, you have to sit down with me, read the newspaper. After that, you will go to one of my friends' businesses and do an internship there.
It's there in the book.
Yeah, do an internship there. After you complete the internship, you will come back in the evening. I'll give you some Amway products, go house to house sell. Then you play badminton. Dad will be back from office by 6:30. We'll do some studies. Okay, we'll do some studies. And after that, you write down your pen, your diary, read a book. Can you do that meticulously? She agreed to the letter. And I'll just take you through the story. Now, one of the things we did was, first thing we did was, we have a friend called Brinda Ramanan who does a lot of mountaineering. So they go with the team to Leh and Ladakh and all those places. We asked her to go and said, we are not coming. We gave her a camera and we said, go there, shoot pictures, make a documentary. So 15 days she had to be there with the group. She had to manage her clothes. She had to manage herself. She had to do that. Took a lot of pictures, made a documentary. Now, once she makes the documentary, right, you go by the Robert Dill's model. Now, her behavior has improved. Her skills have improved. Her belief improves. Hey, I made a documentary. It's got about 10,000 views on YouTube. Then, the next thing we did was, we gave her some products, went asked her to go for some product training, collect something in a bag, and she goes from house to sell products. No, her calculation was, I go to every house, they will purchase product for 5,000 rupees. Daddy, give me the calculator. In 5 houses they buy, every day I'll make 25,000 rupees. In 1 month, I'll make 7.5 lakh rupees. In 1 year, I'll make 1 crore. And daddy, 1 crore this thing. So next year, I'll go to school in the Adikar, 11th standard. Goes to the first house, nobody opens the door. It's all there in a book. Next house she goes, they drive her out. They say, Papa, don't come and disturb us. It was humiliating for her. Third, she goes to a lawyer's house. He gives her 2 hours lecture about why she should study in school instead of selling products. She comes back humiliated. But we push her. We say, go. And then this kid starts enjoying the product, the whole process. And she says, Daddy, Anju Veedu, if I go to 5 houses, in 1 house, they buy the product. So every month they buy so one thing she understood, be shameless, because if you knock in 5 places, in 1 place, they will accept it. Today, she runs a company and she's got 7 people there, and she understands, she goes to 5 clients, at least she'll get 1 order. Now, and with this, when she was, after 10th, the break, she was making about 20,000 rupees a month. Now, suddenly she builds up the confidence. Hey, I make 20,000 rupees, which a graduate makes. I'm able to make by working part-time 1 hour a day. Third, this is something because we go and give talks. None of the kids come and meet us. Most of them are shy. So what's the point in getting educated when you don't want to build networks? So we took her to all conferences. Sashi Tharoor would be sitting in a conference. We gave her a visiting card. She would go talk to him, interact with him. Suma Varghese would be in the conference. She would talk. Now she learned to be shameless and go and talk to people. She did that, build networks. And now, yeah. Are you there with me? Yes. Hello. Yeah. Right. And this is pictures in a India Today conclave. We would every month we would take her to a seminar. So she started moving with all these actors, talking to them. By the way, I also took a lot of pictures with Tamanna. Right. Then Kushbu called us to her office. We went and had an interaction. Now, suddenly she is able to talk to them. The fear of these people, the awe of these people goes away. And this needed a lot of effort because there was a lot of planning going on from our side to give her that exposure, because our job was to give maximum exposure in that 1 year. He was a student, so we took her to his house. When he was our student, she was a kid and he used to carry her around and all that. But now looking at him, because he was big on the tinsel screen and all that, she was in awe of him and he was able to make her comfortable. Nice guy. Then we took her to Hindu Lit Fest. So there she meets lots of authors. So she starts interacting with the authors. Say, for example, this is the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi. Now, this gentleman is McCall Smith. So he was smoking a pipe outside the auditorium. And this kid saw him. He was alone. So she ran from the auditorium, went and met him and said, Uncle, you're McCall Smith. You have written more than 100 books. How, uncle, you wrote 100 books? And this gentleman looks at her and says, do you write? Do you write? Yes, uncle, I write diary every day. Then do one thing. How long have you been writing the diary? I've been writing diary for almost 1 year. Do one thing. Compile the diary, put it in Word, and make a book out of it. Excited. Daddy, I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book. And that's how this book came. My unschooled year. You have the copy of that. Yeah, we'll show you that. Then we make us meet some politicians. She goes and talks. And in fact, this gentleman was the current chief minister. He was very friendly with her, spent a lot of time with her. And she builds up confidence from there. She writes the book. She's got a lot of exposure now. And one day we receive a call, and the call is from, hello, this is from Kiran Bedi's office. Now I was wondering, what does Kiran Bedi have to do with this? Kiran Bedi would like to meet Sagarika. So next day we are trotting to Pondicherry. We go there and Sagarika has a 2-hour tete-a-tete with Kiran Bedi, having tea and coffee, and great for us also. And we went and made her meet bureaucrats. And by the way, this character was the main character in Accidental Prime Minister. You had Sanjay Baru. This is Sanjay Baru. So she goes and meets them. She meets a High Court judge who had just passed a death sentence the previous week. He shares his experience. All these stretch the mind. And this is what I've been trying to tell parents. Now, next week, I'm taking all my students by 3 buses. I'm running a tuition center for cat coaching and CLAT coaching and sending students abroad. But I'm taking 3 buses. I'm taking them to Vijaya Milk Dairy. Every month, I take them on a field trip. I want them to see a bigger world. I make them walk on fire. I want them to see a bigger world because most of them are confined to school and tuition centers. So see a bigger world. No, because once your mind is stretched, it doesn't come back to normal. She was stretched. She saw all this. And then she goes, this was the director of IM Trichy, who became a very good friend of her. They're all nice people. They come, they're willing to mentor, share their stories. This is Madam Sapani, a very famous journalist who was willing to spend time with her. This gentleman worked in India Today. All of them, they shared their experiences. Our job was to create an environment for her. So in that environment, she would build her skills and capabilities. She did that. And then we made her meet entrepreneurs. Wonderful person. He was the owner of Thyrocare, Velumani, and then Mr. Vasan. This was the founder of Naturals. Kumaravel, C.K. Kumaravel, Matrimony. Now, in fact, C.K. Kumaravel, thanks to him, he became a kind of godfather for her. And he started mentoring her because these gentlemen, they want to mentor kids. So it started happening. Now, her confidence level peaks up. because she starts for any financial advice, business advice, she can talk to these battery of people. She starts doing that. And then we organized for her to have a meeting with Bharat Ratna, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. 2 hours he talks to her. Okay, we were not allowed to come into the room. And after interacting, she comes outside crying and says, "Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Mommy. I met God. I met God." Now her mind is different. Her mind is no longer is she a kid dancing in the rain, playing around, not interested in scoring marks, going for dance competitions and singing competitions. Every day I sit with her for half an hour, 10 to 10:30, and read a book because she hated to read books. But I would run around. Okay, she would be eating and I would be verbally reading out the book. Say, for example, this is High Performance Entrepreneur, Subrata Bakshi. She got the email address of Subrata Bakshi, send him a mail. "Uncle, I love this book. Nice story here, nice story." She sent one mail. She is shameless. Send another mail. By the 6th mail, Subrata Bakshi calls her. "Hey, tell me about yourself." Today, she is a very good friend of Subrata Bakshi. And these are the stories I'm trying to tell children. I'm trying to tell parents that, hey, push your children outside the box. There are many things we may not have done. There are many things. Okay, I know my kid is not an IIT JEE product or whatever, which is an aspiration, but there are 99% of the kids, they may have different aspirations, different set of traits. Okay, and they have to be exposed to that, which cannot be done by the education system. Health is something important for our family, priority, goes to the gym. These are all the things she did in that one unschooled year. She's a crazy kid, by the way, loves to experiment. And we will share a link of the documentary she did. For 1 month, she took junk food just to see how deleterious it is, because her classmate died of heart attack because he used to have junk food all the time. I'll share that link with you. This 1 year, we take her on internships. Say, for example, this is Ramya's hotel. This is AGI. She did 15 internships. Each internship will be 2 weeks or 3 weeks. இப்போ இதில் என்ன பண்ணுவான்னா, in Ramya's hotel, 1 week she'll be in the housekeeping department, folding bed sheets, putting the soap and the towel in the rack and all that. 1 week she'll be in the reception, welcoming people and asking them to fill forms. 1 week she will be there as a waitress and taking food orders and bringing food from the kitchen and delivering it in the table. And then she'll get a letter from there saying that she did this internship over there. Then she would go to AGI hospital. So 1 week she'll be in the operation theater, 1 week in the reception, 1 week she'll be there in the the medical shop and delivering the medicines. And then she comes and says, "Daddy, what is inventory control?" She was never interested in mathematics, now wants to know what is ABC analysis. "Daddy, what is queuing theory?" I want to help the hospital with queuing theory so that they are able to optimize the queuing taking place. She goes to Ashtanga, an Ayurvedic factory, and starts learning about costing of products. All this is happening when she's 15. So there are many stories. And then I made a dabble in stock market because I reached into stock market very late in my life. And Warren Buffett says, you know what is the biggest mistake of Warren Buffett? Biggest mistake of Warren Buffett. I'll open it up to questions in another 5-6 minutes. Yeah. It's mentioned there. I made my first investment at age 11. I was wasting my life up till then. What about me? So I put her in the stock market, and today's technical analysis, everything, algorithmic trading, this one is a crazy investor. I think her whole life is now got dedicated to finance. She went there, learned about trading, picked up some stocks. Then I had to sit the whole next 3 months, read this book to her because she would not read it herself. Benjamin Graham, The Intelligent Investor. Now she's only into all finance books. And apart from that, studies. Now, studies, what we did was, say, for example, your spectral lines, your Lyman, Balmer, Paston lines. This is when she goes to 11th standard, didn't understand head or tail of it. So I would take her to the Anna University lab, and there they would put barium sulfate or sodium chloride, show the spectral line. She understood that. She would sit down and try to understand, let's say, your linear expansion of the rod. She didn't understand that. I took her to Amman Steel, where they would put an ingot inside and make it lengthen, and then you have that formula L equal to L naught alpha T, linear expansion and all that. Understood that. This mind would only understand if it was shown things practically. Big challenge educating these kind of children. PV equal to nRT, simple formula. But I had to put a balloon in the fridge, I had to put a balloon in the boiler, and then show that if temperature increases, volume increases. If temperature decreases, volume decreases. Then only this head will get to understand what is there. But what happens because of all this? Sir, are you with me? Or am I talking to myself? Hello?
Yes, yes,
all
yes,
with
yes, yes.
Okay.
We are all with
Everyone is
you,
watching,
and
sir.
Yes, we are
Everyone.
listening to you. We are
Thank
listening.
you. Thank you.
sir,
Everyone
we
is
are all
listening.
waiting for the interaction also.
Oh, sure. Another 5 minutes I'll just take. So environment we created, modified our behaviors, enhanced our skill and capability. Now the belief increases. Once the belief increases, the identity will work out, and then possibly she'll figure out what life is about. So I can just continue. Okay. This was an accident which occurred near Hosur. We are coming from Bangalore to Chennai. A truck rammed into my car. Savitri and I went unconscious. 2016. She was in the back seat. Okay. And now we knew that she was emotionally confident because she calls the insurance. She calls the Hyundai showroom to tow the car. She talks to the police. She informs our staff. She tells the family members, gives us medical aid, and takes us back by Ola to our relatives in Bangalore. When all the time we are dazed, we understood that any emergency situation, if this kind of exposure is given to any child, they will be able to handle any tough situation. I think that's the education that we require. I hope you agree with this. Most of the time we get a lot of academic garbage, but we also need to have the emotional intelligence, but our whole system doesn't provide that. The only challenge we had was we addressed this to the NAC committee. NAC committee chairman said, wonderful story, but I'm wondering how to scale it up. I need to scale it up because we need emotionally intelligent children in our system. How do we do it? Now, okay, till 10th, last in class. Okay. Now, last doesn't mean, but something happened to her. Okay, she became competitive. That competitive spirit in her came. 700 students participating in a inter-school competition, and she is the lone winner. And she was the only representative from a school. There is a science competition. 500.
Shoe and
Yeah. 500 entrants, and she wins the science competition. What's happening now? The one which was not interested in science, the one who had no interest in public speaking, what's happening? Is it some Hawthorne experiment which has happened that suddenly that she has become the limelight, she is the center of attraction, and she wants to perform to her fullest? No, we have ourselves not understood the whole process. And sports, she wins. Now, this is one thing we did, and many of you may not appreciate what we did. There was a competition called Model United Nations competition in Mumbai. We packed her off. We let her go to Mumbai all alone. There she takes a cab, she goes there, participates. She doesn't win any prize, but she gets to know what's happening there. Comes back. Many of the relatives started saying that there is no safety. What kind of a father are you? You should have gone with her. You are making her go alone, getting that exposure and all that. She comes back. We took the risk. And then after 6 months, we had that Kodaikanal, there was a similar competition in Kodaikanal, Model United Nations. She calls a team, gears up a team, trains them for 3 months, and she is the All India winner there. And all these kids, this team gets to be All India first there. She learns how to win Model United Nations. She goes to, I think, Anglo-Indian Girls' School, RSK, Kamala Niketan, half a dozen schools, calls them and says, I'm the Model United Nations winner in India. Do you want your school to also win? They say, yes. You want them to win? I'll definitely train them. I'll need 3 days workshop to train them. My charges are 20,000 rupees. Starts making money at the age of 16 like that. Sells her book, gives 50,000 to an autistic home, buys her mother an Apple laptop. All this happens for one who is last in class in 10th. Becomes a speaker. This is a Pattimandram, I think Raja Bharati Bhaskar talks there. She's a chief guest in Infosys. You can see Infosys here addressing 500 managers at the age of 16. She's the Raila Malaysia. She's the chief guest there. This is an interview in NDTV. Comes in newspaper, magazines. Is invited by the then Vice President of India. Dalai Lama picks up 3 students, interact with Dalai Lama. This was during the COVID, where they talk to him about life. And she is one of the 3 students from, you can see in the Dalai Lama website, interacting with him and he's answering her questions. She does that. Now skills have improved, capability has improved. She's got the confidence of an author. She gets to be a speaker, various forums, starts workshops, is selected for Jagrati Yatra. About 300 students are selected every year. They are packed in a train, taken around entire India where they interact with social entrepreneurs. They do that. Now the identity is refined. She becomes a Youth Icon Award 2022. This is her company, her staff in Chennai. And she does digital marketing with them. She is the head of the startup leadership. There are about 140 chapters all over the world. For Chennai, she is the head. And these are all startup runners. And she's curating the startups. She was recently a TEDx speaker at VIT. It should be released soon. So this is what is the story. So Gopi asked us to talk on effective parenting. I think some little, because usually they say, no, I had 8 theories about children. And now I have, now I have 8 children and no theories. I think that's the right quote. Okay. So each one will have a different perspective, a different thought process. We took this risk, this gamble, being an existentialist, and this is where we are gone. Now, right now, her intention is she is going to write a GMAT exam. She expects to get a very good score. She wants to run the company here and do her MBA in US. Okay, and after doing that, possibly she wants to get into finance full-fledged. So that's her thought process. That is where she is today. So I open the floor to a few questions and then we will close.
Okay, she was an amazing presentation by you and Savitri ma'am.
Thank you.
There are a few connects here. I am from VIT and I think we saw your daughter in the campus, number 1.
Oh, you are
Okay.
in Amravati.
No, not in Amravati, in VIT Vellore.
Vellore.
And she is a known TEDx speaker in the campus. She came. So that is one part. You told a lot about your daughter, and she's a privileged kid because they got 2 parents. Both are such amazing people. So my simple question.
2 crazy parents, yeah.
Amazing. I told crazy is a tough word for me to utter now. Otherwise, from South India, bombshell can come to Calcutta.
Oh.
Okay. So coming back to the point, I am from Ramakrishna Mission and I was in Gurukul from my 6th standard. So when you told about Swami Vivekananda, I just couldn't, share my, what should I say, excitement. Now, coming back to the question, basically, we are in a phase of life, all of us who are attending majorly here, we see that the future perfect present tense future perfect present tense. We talk about AI, we talk about new generation, emotional, intelligent people, so on and so forth. Now, when I am working with the kids who are under tremendous pressure of expectation, peer pressure building up, we know the concept of Ubuntu, the African concept also. But still, I find Ubuntu that we all move together. We all move together.
Could you repeat that Ubuntu process?
Ubuntu is, there were African kids, they were running a race. And what happened, each of them were some way or the other physically challenged. So one of them fell down.
They all
Yes.
ran together and
Yes, they
won
completed the race together. So I also do write poems, and I found it fantastic from your daughter that I do not want to run the race. I want my space. See, ultimately, if it is a rat race we run, the winner is still remaining a rat. They doesn't become a cat or a dog. So now coming back to the point, how you deal with the generation gap, because we are the people who were brought up in a different generation. Our expectation from our parents and their expectation from us, the technology enabled environment we had then and the objectives we have in front of us are totally different. At one point of time, we understood studying engineering, medicine, or law is going to give us a lot of dowries, so that we will get a lot of, jobs in our hand and a lot of dowries. Now, there is a lot of affection and association. So how you deal with the generational gap and how we gear ourselves up, very important. I think you please address it for 2-3 minutes.
We have been very fortunate that I deal with kids. So our institute, we deal with kids. So we keep our ears to the ground. So it's from the kids I learn about Facebook marketing or digital marketing or understanding about Bitcoin or what. So these are the guys who tell me, and we are more of their age. We are more connected with them. So everywhere, I think these kids are all gurus. The only reason why I believe a generation gap does come is we start building an ego, and ego creates a wall where I know more than you. Mere baal dhoop mein safed nahi hue, so you better listen to me instead of my listening to you. If we could listen to them and ask them to guide us, I think Generation Z will definitely be willing to guide us. I think it's only keeping our hearts open, your minds open.
So we learn from each other, definitely, in the process. But what happens, the parents are sometimes losing the confidence because the kids now are enjoying a life which is, smoking together, living together, junk food taking together, and finally ending up in a lot of generational diseases and problems.
No, I hear there's one thing, Sudipto.
Yes, sir.
Okay, children are the best mimics in spite of the good advice. If I'm going to be proper, if I'm not going to smoke, if I'm not going to drink, if I'm not going to womanize, if I'm not going to be in drugs, I have the right environment, the right values. I respect my wife, she respects me. If we do that, we create the right environment, children will emulate. If we don't create the right system, you just can't blame them. She's in Chennai every night, 8:30 to 9. She will tell us exactly what happened during the day. She will report to us because she believes, because we created the system, that there should be 100% accountability. No, if we don't create accountability, we don't have a right system. I notice many of my friends, I don't want to really mention, we give a talk. I talk about the ill effects of alcohol. Just after the meeting, they open the bottle and say, Shiva, you want to share? If this is the kind of system they have, if this is the kind of camaraderie they have in the house, and they expect phenomenal results, it's not going to happen. Monkey see, monkey do.
Right. I fully agree. I have 2 daughters, and one of them are still with me, completed her 10+2. The other one is working in Economic Times, Mumbai. I'll tell you, values are more important than valuables, which I taught them. Number 1. And number 2 is the way you lead your life, the way you reap your future. So that is very important. But the problem is somewhere else. There are peer pressures also. When they move in a society of friends, if you are making yourself aloof from their habits and bad, good, whatever it is, you are considered isolated. Even in our lives, we saw that, but we used to, birds of same feather flock together, no? So that is also very important. Now, justifying one's action is something which nowadays generation sometimes does, justifying their own action. But I actually am not reacting to those. I am listening, observing. I want one or two tips from you that as parents, because I also work in the same space, how you do when your kid sometimes, starts giving reasons rationally why she did that, even if it is not a good thing she did. How you do that? Disciplining.
No, here what happens is there are two schools of thought. I remember one Shiv Kera, he said,
Yes.
I tell my daughter to shut up because I'm the father. I go otherwise. I understand my job is to listen, because when I'm listening, I'm only a bouncing board. She's just bouncing her thoughts on me. She doesn't want my piece of wisdom. And the best part is, she gets deviant. She comes and shares with me, okay, where she's having a misdirection, confusion. She talks to me because she trusts me. She trusts us. So she comes and confides what are the mistakes, what are the difficulties she has gone through. We just listen. And then once we listen, she is able to rectify herself. But I have only one case study. But most of the children who talk to me, we are more like godparents for thousands of children in Trichy. Most of them who talk to us, who call us, they are talking to us because there is nobody willing to listen to them. I think the biggest thing you have to do is, right now I have to go back, evening 4 o'clock, I got 3 appointments. 3 appointments are nothing but just listen to their stories. They have some pain points which nobody in the family wants to understand.
Okay, great insights. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I'll do one thing. I'll just complete. There are certain people we want to really yeah.
I've shared all the links.
Yeah, we have shared the links. Books are available in Tamil and in English also. And this is what we have been doing. We have adopted about 85 children and run a school for them, providing them with food. And let me tell you, the rural children, they are absolutely brilliant. So all these book proceeds and all that, they go for that. And we have been helping this person. She won a bronze medal in European weightlifting. And many of you may know Ramakrishnan sir of Padma Shri. He is building a stadium for rural youth in Ayakudi. So we have been supporting the cause. So these are the areas we are working as a trust. And we wish to thank two people. First is Rotarian Mr. Muttu of Ideyam. He is the founder of Ideyam Oil. He has been instrumental in all the funding of the projects we have done. I think this moment we have to thank these people, because without them, nothing would have happened. The next gentleman who has helped us is Mr. Chandramohan, who is the owner of Hatson, and products like Aruna ice cream and all that belong to him. We also help in training his badminton academy. So these people have been highly supportive. I think this moment we have to thank them. And three people we have to thank who have transformed our life. One is Mr. Yatraj Agarwal, who is no more, a great mentor, a great trainer. And this couple, Jim and Nancy, Jim is no more. He's the founder of Network 21. Absolutely, when we had no direction in our life, these are the people who gave us a direction. And a great gentleman, Tony Henderson, was also the New Zealand basketball coach. So Tony Henderson gave us a lot of wisdom, direction, helped us when we were down and out. So we really wish to thank them. And I would like to close with a small story. And the story is, we went to Mount Everest base camp. Now, that was one of the biggest mistakes in our life, because the first day we realized that possibly you'll never make it or you'll never return, because our bodies are not acclimatized or fit for going through such a arduous task. But this one man saved us. His name is Dinesh. He's a Sherpa. So he saved us. Now, there are three things which we picked up from Dinesh. Now, when we had to climb the mountain, we would look at the next peak. Now, Dinesh is not even half my age, but he would shout, he would scold, "Niche dekh, upar mat dekh, look down, upar mat dekh," right? Now, because as soon as you look up, you say, "Oh my God, I have to reach that. I don't think it will work out." You look down, walk one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, you'll do it. Now, all the 11 days that we walked from morning 6 till night 7, one step at a time, one step, each step was tricky, but he made us focus on one step, one step, one step. So we understood, focus one step at a time, focus, get it done. The next thing was, now and then we would come across huge obstacles like this, right? And when you see obstacle, you say, "Mere se nahi hoga." Some disturbance. Mere se nahi hoga. Okay. And you want to go around the obstacle, but you cannot go around the obstacle. And then he would say, "Push up, upper, go and cross it." Now, you would feel that it's mentally not possible to climb the obstacle and go. But this man is literally pushing us from there, push and go, because sometimes obstacles do come in life, but you have to climb over the obstacle. The third thing that we learned from him was his brother had climbed the Mount Everest. Now, Mount Everest is a once in a lifetime chance. Just 100 feet from climbing the Mount Everest, his brother opens his gloves and he finds that there's a frostbite. There's gangrene in all the fingers. Now, one thing the brother could do was he could go down to the base camp where there's a medical facility available, revive his hands, but he will not be able to go. He will not be able to go to the peak again. Or he could go to the peak, but he'd lose his fingers. So you go to the peak, but you lose your fingers, or you go down and forget Mount Everest. The brother took his knife, chop, 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 cut all the 8 fingers, climbed to the Mount Everest. The third thing I learned from him is there are some times in life where you'll have to make a tough decision. Either you quit or you proceed. Now, any human being can teach us 101 things. This guy would be hardly about 26 or 27, but he's our guru. So we just wanted to share with you, wonderful people. We wanted to share with you these thoughts. And we want to conclude, we are very active on Instagram. We run 4 channels. One is for spoken English, one is for abroad, one is, banking, one is CAT, and one is family first. We have almost about 3 lakh followers put together on all these channels. You can ask the youngsters to follow us over there. We are available in all kinds of social media. And that's it. Thank you very much. And would like to thank Gopi. I don't know how he picked us up, but I hope we have done some justice. And if you found it terrible, you can throw tomatoes and eggs on Gopi because he was the one who chose us. Yes, Gopi, thank
Thank
you
you.
so
We
much.
enjoyed Sivakumar, we enjoyed Savitri.
Thank you so much for
Pleasure.
inviting us once again,
Thank
and
you.
please leave your reviews. I have shared the link, and also I've shared the link of our books which are available on Amazon. A gentle reminder that all the proceeds of the program goes to the trust fund, and also you can follow us on Instagram and watch our YouTube videos and share with your family and friends. It was really wonderful talking to all of you. Thank you once again, Mr. Gopi, for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Pleasure, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sivakumar.
So
Thank you.
you can close now. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
If you have a group, sir, I can share all the links with you on the WhatsApp also.
Yes, ma'am. Please send it across, ma'am. I'll send it to all the groups here.
Yeah,
In
you
our...
can send it to your friends.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
How was the session? Anyone in the
Session
comments? You can give the
session was really great. It was really great.
Thank
We had
you.
a lot of
Thank
takeaways.
you, Mr. Niyatha Krishnan, Mr. Karthikeyan.
Yeah, Niyatha connected with us from Nigeria.
Oh, we were recently there. Oh, we
Kenya.
were in Kenya. Okay.
Nairobi.
Alok Reddy, Mr. Alok Reddy, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Sudipto is from Calcutta.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
thank you.
And
Thank
we have
you.
Mr. SRS from Melbourne. He
Mr.
joined from Melbourne.
Etsudas, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be happy to talk in more communities and to families.